The storm hadn't stopped for hours. Sheets of rain carved the street into black rivers. My phone rang, sharp against the thunder. Unknown number. I almost ignored it until I heard her voice. "Uncle, I'm alone. I'm starving. Please help." 8 years old. My niece. The line cut before I could answer. I didn't hesitate. I drove through the storm, wipers struggling, every red light ignored. The closer I got, the colder I felt. My sister-in-law's house sat at the end of the cul-de-sac, dark, curtains drawn. I stepped inside. The door wasn't locked. And what I found there was silence. Not the kind of silence a house should hold. This silence carried weight. It pressed against the walls. It hid something. Her shoes were by the door. Tiny, pink, scuffed. She hadn't left. I called her name. No answer. Only the wind rattling the gutters. In the kitchen, dishes rotted in the sink. Empty wine bottles lined the counter. A single plate sat on the table, clean, waiting. It didn't belong to a child. I opened the fridge. Bare shelves, molded fruit, expired milk, nothing she could have eaten. That's when I saw it. A calendar pinned to the wall. Every weekend circled. Every Friday marked with initials I recognized. Not her mother's, a man's. My chest tightened. My niece hadn't called about hunger alone. Hunger was only the surface. Beneath it, fear. The betrayal wasn't new. It had been growing here for months, maybe years. My sister-in-law's double life carved in pen strokes on that calendar, and my niece left invisible. I searched, room to room, quiet, methodical, like walking through a crime scene. Her bedroom told me everything. Clothes scattered, school books unopened, a stuffed animal missing one arm, clutched so tightly its seams had split. She hadn't slept well here, not once. On the desk lay her journal, 8-year-old handwriting, shaky but clear. I shouldn't have read it, but I did. She says I can't eat until he leaves. She says I'm not worth the food. Uncle will find me one day. I closed the book. My throat ached. I heard the front door creak. Voices, laughter, her voice, my sister-in-law. Another, lower, male. I moved into the shadows of the hall, unseen. My niece never appeared. They didn't ask for her, didn't check her room. They carried groceries inside, steaks, wine, imported chocolates, for themselves. Her absence wasn't neglect, it was design. They had carved her out of their lives, starved her of more than food. When they disappeared upstairs, I stepped into the light. Calm, silent. I found her in the basement, blanket on the floor, empty water bottle, a bowl with crumbs stuck to the bottom. Her eyes wide when she saw me. Not relief, not joy, something worse. Resignation. "Uncle, you shouldn't be here," her voice broke. I pulled her close, but she shook her head. "She'll be angry." That's when it crystallized. This wasn't simply about hunger. It was conditioning, manipulation. My sister-in-law hadn't just failed her. She had weaponized her suffering to keep her small, silent, dependent. I carried her upstairs, step by step, until I reached the kitchen. They were there, laughing, glasses raised. They froze when they saw me, and her. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I set her journal on the counter, opened to the page she had written in broken pencil strokes. She says I can't eat until he leaves. Silence gutted the room, their faces drained. I looked at her mother first. My voice was steady. "You starved her." Her lips parted. Excuses clawed their way up her throat, but nothing came out. She looked at the man beside her. He dropped his glass. I placed the grocery bag on the table. Steaks, wine, chocolates spilling out. Next to the journal, it looked obscene. You fed him. You fed yourself. And you left her with nothing. The man muttered, "It's not my business." I cut him with a glance. He looked away. I turned back to her. You thought no one would see. But she called me. Her face twisted. Anger, not shame. Because the secret was out. I took my niece's hand, walked her to the door. Neither of them moved to stop me. The storm had eased. The streets still shimmered with rain, but the air was clearer. She sat in the passenger seat, head against the glass, eyes half closed. I drove without speaking. There was no need. I wasn't thinking of custody battles or police reports or the fallout waiting at dawn. Those would come, and I would use them. What mattered was this. She had reached out once, desperate, certain I would come, and I had. Her mother's power over her had ended the moment I walked through that door. Some betrayals don't need punishment. Exposure is enough. I glanced at her in the mirror, fragile, alive, and I knew, with a clarity I hadn't felt in years, she would never go hungry again.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.